Hey, you two people for Forget Being Cool. Dave here. So John and I recorded episode 96 of the Forget Being Cool podcast. We just recorded it, finished recording. It was a great time. John's internet, though, on the other hand, is just garbage. You're aware of this. You've seen the cutouts. You've seen the glitching. You've seen those little, weird hiccups. And tonight we had to stop the show mid-show, start recording again. John's video was missing for half of it. It's just a mess. And I started sitting down here to edit the video and put it up, and I just realized how bad it really is. John's audio version, on the other hand, is just cleaner, works better, but I can't sync it with the video, or I would, because of the way that Skype works and the timing and the glitches and the hiccups aren't quite the same on John's side as mine. So what I'm going to give you guys today on the YouTube channel is the audio version of the show, which means basically you'll be staring at a logo for the Forget Being Cool podcast. It's fine. It's a really cool logo. Check it out. It's cool. Thanks a lot to our designer for doing it. But I wanted to just give you guys a heads up. I'm not going to give you the video version of the show. It's just too rough. It doesn't look clean. So without further ado, here's episode 96 for May 8th. Of the Forget Being Cool podcast, audio edition here on YouTube. We try not to do this often. I'm going to fix this, especially for John and I's upcoming fun project for Monday. See you guys then. Bye.
You're listening to Forget Being Cool.
Will you be the one to witness the birth of the incredible Nintendo Entertainment System? The one to play with Rob, the extraordinary video robot, batteries not included. He helps you tackle even the toughest challenge. Will you be the first to raise the incredibly accurate Zapper and play games like Duck Hunt or action-packed Hogan's Alley and high-flying Kung Fu, each sold separately? Will you be the one to experience the Nintendo Entertainment System? Comes with Rob, Zapper, Control Deck, 2 controllers, Gyromite, and Duck Hunt.
I'm not a nerd, I'm a video game enthusiast!
It's Forget Being Cool for May 8th, 2020. My name is Dave Moore. Joining me, of course, is my main man, my man on the internet, Johnny_Spaghetti Xbox Ravioli Casino. John.
Hi, Dave. So I'm trying something new for anyone who actually watches the video of this. I don't have the light in this room on. I think there's plenty of light coming throughout the entirety of the show from my window. But if it gets real dark in here, Dave, you're going to have to let me know, and I will go turn a light on.
It gets real bright in here. I don't know why I look extra bright.
Dave, you never look extra bright.
Am I like a light bright, John? Do you want more toys to write down? Light brights.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have a light bright?
My sister did.
I don't know how, what era that is. I definitely had one as a kid, and it felt like a really old toy. Even at the time that I had it.
So it could be from the 70s. Let's just say that. Let's say I have a reason to believe it could have been in the 70s.
I feel like mine was new, except it still felt like a really old toy.
I mean, yeah, you're literally punching holes in paper with little pegs with a light bulb behind it. There's no, technology really involved in this, except for electricity.
And a light bulb.
That's the electricity. Okay,
sure,
Dave, you do know that light bulbs aren't fire, right? You do know
yes,
electricity is required.
Yes, John, I do. Believe it or not, I do.
Dave, I'm drinking a hazy IPA. It's quite tasty.
Okay, how is it?
Quite tasty.
Tasty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sure. Dave,
I haven't had an IPA that I really liked, so,
So,
each his own.
I bought a 12-pack or something like that of these beers, and there's, 2 IPA, a regular IPA, a hazy IPA, which a hazy IPA is it's a very mild IPA. And then it also just had a pale ale, which is almost more of an IPA than the hazy IPA. Anyway.
These are just words.
Just
making up words.
I haven't drank a beer in 3 months until yesterday, so I was quite excited to buy some and do that. Speaking of months and months, Dave, on Wednesday I couldn't record. And a few things happened with this. One is my wife got into Animal Crossing because her and my kids played it a good number of hours through the day while I was at work. Like, they played on my account to the point where the next day her and my son made a joint one on his account, and now she's actually playing her own on my island.
How's that going?
I think she expects me to pay for a lot of stuff. Which, I mean, I can. I made 8 million bells today on turnips. So
where'd you get turnips sold, and how much did you get them sold for?
So it was some random guy I found through Reddit who advertises things. It was 524, and I think I made 4 trips. So I made about 2 million a trip, and I could have made another 2 trips. But I was like, I've hindered this guy enough. I actually ended up tipping him 1 million bells at the end because I made 8 million.
I feel like you should have gone your full amount of trips. Do you still have turnips to sell then?
Well, I ended up selling them on my island for still a profit, but nowhere near that kind of profit. I was like, you know what? I've made enough. I don't need to make an extra 4 million. I'm fine. And then I tipped him. Right. I tipped him well, and it takes so long to go back and forth and back. And I could tell he was kind of done because no one else was showing up, and like his dodo code went away. And I messaged him like, "Hey man, if you'll open back up again for me for a second, I haven't given you a tip. I really want to do that because you didn't ask for one, but you really helped me out here. If you'll open back up, I'll do one more transaction and I'll leave you some tip there." And I dropped him a pretty hefty tip, so it was nice.
That's nice of you.
Yeah.
Why don't you just drop some bells on my island, just out of the courtesy and goodness of your heart?
Look, I'm paying someone else's mortgage at this point, right? It's almost like child support, but we're still married. So
sure.
Yeah. But I've been kind of pissed.
I'm glad you made money.
Yeah, I was kind of upset because Red showed up the one day I have not been able to play since the game came out. There's been one day I have not played since the game came out, and Red was there that day. He couldn't have come the day before or the day after. He came that day.
You know what's driving me nuts?
What's that?
I decided this whole week I was going to stockpile all my fish. I was going to wait for CJ to show up so I could sell him all my fish.
And he hasn't showed up?
So many fish. He has not shown up this week at all.
I'm having that same problem. I wasn't stockpiling because money doesn't mean as much anymore. But here's what I have been doing. Collecting sets of 3 so that every time he shows up, I can get a statue. So I've got 3 oarfish ready to go and I really hope this statue is huge. So I got 3 of those. I've got 3 of a few different types of fish that I think look cool. Ready to go. Hasn't shown up. I got 3 mantises so that when Flick shows up, I can get like a mantis statue. Haven't seen him in a while.
I haven't seen Flick in a while either. I've got a bunch of wasps to sell. Like every wasp, because I get a couple wasps every day. They're just sitting in there ready to go.
On top of that,
and the crappy part, John. You know what the worst part is? You should just kill your video because you're cutting out so much that you can't hear me.
I can hear you just fine.
I'm at the point where I want to just sell it all. I just want to get rid of it because that feels better. But I'm also like spending all my money and I'm not making anything.
Okay, so you only get 1.5 times the normal cost if you sell it to these people. So it's not really worth it to hold it too long.
I realize that, but now I'm at the point where basically I'm not making money. Like I get a money tree every day with 30,000 bells on it. I'm getting some money for crafting some stuff and selling whatever crap I don't want. Like I'm making like enough money to like sustain moving forward. Yeah. But I'm not making like any profit. Like I'm basically breaking even every day. Plus I moved all my villagers up the hill, so they're on a perfect line across the top of my island.
Oh, I gotta tell you what I'm doing there.
which costs 50,000 bells a piece. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I had to move like 8 of them.
So I'm in the process of moving all my villagers. Every day I'm moving one, and I'm setting up. I decided I want to set up neighborhoods, and I'm gonna have 3 neighborhoods. So I'm gonna have a fancy neighborhood. It's gonna have bigger yards. It's gonna have like the nicer these really cool stone fences. It's gonna have all this stuff like that. Now, in that neighborhood are the 3 people that I refuse to let leave, right? The 3 villagers that I don't want to leave. Then there's gonna be like the middle class neighborhood. It's gonna have nice fences. It's gonna have nice walkways, and they're gonna have walkways between them and all this stuff. And that one will have the ones that's like, I like these guys, but if they ask to leave, I'm going to let them go because I want to keep cycling people through so I can keep hunting for new villagers. Then there's the slums. I dug down as deep as I could go. I have it like base level with like mountains around it, so it's kind of like in there. Their fences are barbed wire. They're going to have and I mean no flowers. And I thought about I can build jail cell like wall. I could build like this iron bar walls, and I thought about putting that across, except for like one entrance and exit, so they can come in and out. And I started doing this, and my daughter thinks this is hilarious. And this is the ones I want gone. Like the people I'm actively trying to get rid of are going to go in this neighborhood. Now, my son finds out about this, and he's like, "Dad," it's like, that feels really wrong. Like. It feels mean. And he's not wrong.
Let's mind, he's not wrong. Clearly, your 8-year-old son has better morals than you, is what you're telling me right now.
Yeah, so I yelled out to my wife because she was in the other room. And I was like, Ryan has a moral dilemma with with what we're doing to the villagers. And I'd already built this area up. So I was like, okay, how about this? How about it's not the slums? It's the country, and that's why they have, barbed wire fencing, is because they're out in the country where barbed wire is expected. So,
you should put like big random punches of like dirt everywhere.
Oh,
so
no,
they don't even have grass.
That's what I'm doing. I'm making the area around their houses the dirt, and then it's going to be a different colored dirt for the paths between the houses. Yeah, no, I'm making it low class. If I could turn their houses into trailers, I would.
But you could put them all back in their tents, you would.
So here's the problem. Like, here's what concerns me, though, is that one of them's going to leave. So my wife and I are actively, focusing on this one person leaving. We're giving gifts. We're talking to everyone else every day, except for this one person. Hopefully they leave.
Right.
And my concern is that someone really cool is going to move in. Now, this really cool person is going to be in the slums. And the question is, do you upgrade the slums, or do you move their house from the slums to the nice neighborhoods?
You move them to the nice neighborhood.
Okay. But that's going to cost me $50,000 every time, which is fine. It's so easy to make $50,000 if you really want to.
Yeah. It's not a lot of money. It's a lot of money when you do it 8 times in a row when you're also not selling anything.
Yeah, no, that's true. But anyway, so I'm moving all my shops in one area, make this nice little shopping area. I've seen these other people's islands. It looks so nice, and I'm not creative, so I'm trying to like do the best I can at being creative. Like, your island looks beautiful compared to my strewn about, trees and random places island.
You need to allow me in, and I don't know if can I terraform on your island at all?
I don't
Am I
think
allowed?
so.
Because you need me to come in and fix a couple of little things. You've got a couple like awkward, like shifty points that you're like, John, why did you put this bridge here? The bridge
all that stuff's moving.
Goes directly into the side of Nook's Cranny, so you got to like shove your way around it. I'm moving Nook's Cranny. I'm making a little shopping area too. Look, have you been to Jeff's Island?
No.
Oh my God, the amount of nonsense that it doesn't even look like an island anymore. It looks like a town.
So I've seen
I'm like,
that.
What happened?
And it kills me because I don't know how to do this. Right?
I mean, I don't really want it to look like that.
Oh, I do.
Either.
I do. I want it to look really awesome.
I want it to look awesome, but I still want it to be an island. It's still an island. It's not a town.
So
anyway.
So speaking of like our islands and whatever, so I think I've been to your island the last 2 days in a row. So today I went there and I bought an arcade machine from your island because Rachel messaged me the arcade. Yeah. Do you need any pinball machines? I have 2 pinball machines I could probably buy.
I have no pinball machines.
Okay, I will see if I can gift you both pinball machines. Because they're different. One's a baseball one and one's a something else. So now I have the dartboard, 2 pinball machines, and an arcade machine, right? Like in my game room.
We have the dartboard. I saw it. She's like, "Do you want this fighting arcade cannon?" I'm like, "Is it the same one I have?" And she's like, "I think so." I'm like, "If it's the same one, I don't care." So then you guys can buy it.
So, anyway, that room, my floor is white chocolate. My walls are like a different kind of chocolate. Like I have these like a chocolate carpet and a chocolate wallpaper that I have in my basement, where all the furniture is like a diner, like the diner furniture, and arcade games, and a foosball table. So I'm happy with that.
Cool.
It's not as good. I started playing the 3DS one again because every day I can go buy 2 fortune cookies and then get Nintendo collectible stuff for them. And I got the rocket ship from Pikmin yesterday. And when you go up and tap it, it like actually lifts off the ground. Nothing like that in the new one. Makes me very bitter.
They've got to add this stuff.
They have to.
They're saying they're going to add stuff for the next 3 years to this game, which means I'm going to play this game every day for the next 3 years.
That's my hope. Like my hope is to not miss a day. Although, like I said, on Wednesday, I guess it was Tuesday, the day we actually recorded, I was at work. So I left my house before 5 a.m. and I got home about 11:20 at night. So did not have a chance to play.
So you could play at 11:20. You just can't do anything fun.
Exactly. Like the only thing I wish is that maybe they hadn't bought the thing from Red, and if he was still available, because they bought a fake one, and Rachel sent me a website link that I could like determine for real which one's real and fake. But whatever.
I purposely I went to her sister's husband's island. That's way more complicated than it needs to be. But I went there and he's like, "Oh, Red's here," and I'm like, "Great, I can buy more art." And I get there and I'm like, "You literally bought the only real one here. Everything is fake." But they had that rock. They had that rock that's like glows blue when it's fake. I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna buy the glowing blue rock."
Okay, so if you go to someone else's island that has red on it, you can buy something from them?
Yes, you can buy something if they haven't bought it already. So of the 4 pieces of art, you can buy one that they haven't bought. Okay. He bought the only real one. You can buy any of the other fake stuff, and you can buy any of the furniture. Now, you can't buy from Red on 2 different islands. So, like, you can't on the same day.
Okay.
So you can't have Red on your... Right. So if you have Red on your island, you can't go to somebody else's island who also has Red and buy something again from him.
Okay. So
whenever he'll say, "You already bought something from me."
Whenever Red pops up on your island, after y'all buy something from him...
I think it's tomorrow.
Okay. Let me come over and buy something after you guys have. Like I want to buy something from him because I want to get my art museum. Like I love the museum. It is the coolest thing. I caught a butterfly today that I did not know I was missing that was still around. Just randomly like, "Oh, that's a cool butterfly." Whap. "Oh, look, it's new." So that made me very happy. Okay. Let's stray a little bit from Animal Crossing, right? Because we could obviously.
So we're starting an Animal Crossing podcast already. We wanted to announce it today. It's called Dave and John Play Animal Crossing.
No. Because when we do our once a week show, video games cannot be the crutch. This is the only thing we've like really determined.
Yes, 100%.
And I put out a call to be like, "Hey, what other questions can we ask ourselves to figure out what it is?" And I got like a response from Adam Leonard, and it was funny, but it didn't actually help in the situation.
Yes, and John, you only got one response because you didn't cheat like me and tag the 5 people who listen to the show, plus 2 people who you've interacted with recently who don't listen to the show but might react and respond to a question you ask. You got to cheat and tag everybody who listens, John. I'm a cheater.
Okay. Well, next time you do it, you put the call out. You seem to be better at it. But here's the thing.
Okay.
So Tuesday, my day was super busy. I didn't get to play Animal Crossing. But the other side effect of that was that we didn't get to record Tuesday night for an episode to come out Wednesday morning.
Right. Now, mind you, there was part of me that said, I should just let it go. We just miss a day. Who cares? We're just doing this show for fun anyway. We're back because of the virus. Really, that's the reason we're back in here. It doesn't matter if we miss a day. who cares? No one will be upset. We'll be back on Friday. No one will care. Instead, John, I made a stupid call, and I committed to it on the show.
I don't think this was a stupid call at all.
Okay.
Okay. So from my perspective, you put this thing up, and I texted you about it. I'm like, oh, I'll listen later. And you're like, I couldn't. And I'm like, well, why not? And you're like, wait till you get 10 minutes in. And I'm like, what could we have possibly said? So I'm bracing myself. I listened to it today. I'm bracing myself for something so bad that like, it's so cringy. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe anyone heard this. And I enjoyed the hell out of listening to that episode. I listened to the entire thing. I
listened to most of it. I did listen to most of it. Now, how long ago did we record that? It's a long time ago.
It was probably 6 to 8 months ago, something like that. Probably.
I said 7 months. That was my guess. I didn't look at the date. I probably could have looked at the date on it.
Yeah. No,
I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry.
It was definitely some funny stuff in there, stuff I'd forgotten about, and I'm really hoping. So when you have to do this again at some point, I really want that one to go in where I was laughing so hard I was in tears. I think that was in one of these episodes. I was laughing so hard.
I only have 2. We only recorded 2.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping it's in that other one and not like some other random thing you and I were doing. But I was laughing so hard, and no one else is.
I'm banking it, John. I'm gonna bank it.
Okay, but here's the thing: is no one else is gonna find that what I was laughing at funny. Like no one. It was just so funny to me. I could not speak, and I was in tears.
What do you think of my music choices?
I loved it. I actually loved it. I almost wish we had that like behind us in this, like music going the entire time behind this, which is maybe something we should talk about. Now, let's ask this question: when we do our once a week show, when we're forced to go to once a week, do we have music playing the entire time underneath our show? Or does that only work with certain types of podcasts?
I felt like it worked for that show.
Yeah.
And it did this weird effect, John, because you and I are definitely having a joke ass time. Like the whole thing's a joke. It's definitely quick paced, but like the smooth, like slow jazz in the background does like the reverse.
Well, and see, I think this show we're doing right now would actually work with underlying music, right?
I think so too. I'm not a huge fan of it. And when I'm piloting a show, essentially, like when I'm taking a risk, I think I'm okay with like putting in something that I'm not always a huge fan of. Like, I think it works in moments, but it's not always like, so most of the time on this show, I don't think background music is good, but like when we're doing like the quizzes and stuff, like some game show background music is hilarious to me. I think it belongs there, but like under the whole thing, no. But that would mean going back into the show, finding what we're talking about, going into the context, adding the music, doing the effort. And I know there's shows out there that do it way better. I know there's shows that do it live way better than we do. And good for them. I have only so much time to produce this show. If I had endless free time to produce as much content as I wanted, I would put more things like that into it. So, like, I went out and hunted down a weirdo jazz song that opened up about how gross people are. Like.
So Dave.
But I had like the 2 hours ish that this takes from, I sit down for a half hour to get the post ready, get everything ready. I sat down for that time. I had that time. I had the time we normally record, and I had the editing time. But I had all that to just push into that episode of the show, which is why I put so much work into it. And it's not perfect. Like,
I mean, the conversation was.
There's stuff that could have been cleaned up. I realized that. But
so here's my plan, though, Dave, is that when we have to go to once a week, is we will record a certain day of the week. It'll come out a few days later, and I will do a full audio edit. Like I will, if we think the underlying music works, I will put it in there. If we need sound effects, well, maybe I'll put it in there. We'll see. It depends on how good we can do that. Like if there's these other little things, like we'll both record our own sides and I will put them together, right? So these things will happen. If we're going to once a week, the effort I put into cleaning up the audio will be, well, more than it is now, because now I cut the beginning and end and hit publish.
Yes.
So that's it. So this is what we did.
Did you watch the video version where I put us in like black and white?
Did not.
Okay.
Oh, but speaking of that, and the fact that we've already ranted and gone on and on about Animal Crossing, you made mention of like recording. I don't think it was probably off the air or whatever, but like me recording some video clip of me sitting there in Animal Crossing, and then like you putting it with like us podcasting with that being the video. What do you think about my podcast recording setup in the game?
Pretty good. I meant to reply with mine by now, but I haven't gotten around to it because I was too busy moving my house.
It is awesome. I got the microphone. I've got the 2 lights. I've got the laptop. I've got the little mixer looking thing that's not actually a mixer. I've got it all. I am so
incredible.
happy. And I got this little library setting. So, yeah. Anyways,
Good
Dave,
for you, John. I'm proud. I'm proud of you.
I so much enjoyed listening back through that episode. Now, like, will anyone else have liked it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Right? Did we offend someone? Probably not.
We only got one reply from Serge. So.
Oh, I didn't even see what he said.
I don't remember without digging through my Twitter to find it.
Oh.
It was that he went to the mission when he's been in Cleveland, which is
nice.
The stripper store, although he doesn't want to call it that, but that's what it is. It's a stripper store. Although it is closed now, by the way. So from the time that we've recorded that show, it's now like, I think it's like a weird, like tiny little furniture store or something.
Interesting.
Which means it's not open. It's not open at all because.
So it used to be a store where strippers got their stuff, and now it's a store where prostitutes get their stuff.
Yes, John. That's exactly what it is. It's right next to the Sherwin-Williams and across the street from the 7-Eleven that I used to work at.
Perfect.
Okay.
Dave, I don't know how much we have specifically set up to talk about, but I have a quiz for you if you'd like it.
Okay.
So
do you want to talk about anything else we talked about on Let Me Tell You Something?
I don't remember the specifics. We talked about drugs.
Do you
talked about.
Do you want to retract anything?
No.
I feel like I
don't think so.
Everything I said.
I don't think so. I mean, you asked me like what it would take for me to produce a porn, not be in one, but direct or produce or whatever. And we talked about would I or would I not be willing to try certain drugs, and I think I stand by all my answers.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. You do you, John. What are you drinking? It's an IPA?
It's a hazy IPA from Elysian. Elysian makes a pretty good beer.
Okay. It's a weird color.
I mean, it's a lighter color. Okay, Dave, you have 2 choices on quizzes.
Right.
And whatever one you don't do now will come up later. So here's your choices. Who said this? Teddy Roosevelt or Game of Thrones? Or Poisonous Plant or Indie Band? So I'll give you a thing.
Poisonous Plant or Indie Band.
Okay. Poisonous Plant or Indie Band?
Neither one I'm going to know very well, but I feel like the Poison Plant names will be better.
It could be interesting. And if nothing else, would be like, holy crap. Like, that's interesting. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready, Dave?
Now, did you email all these bands specifically and ask for the rights to play their music?
I'm not playing any of their music. I am literally telling you the name of them, and you tell me if it's a Poisonous Plant or an indie band. Although that would have been smart to do that, so I could actually play little clips of them afterwards, like a montage.
Yes.
All right, Dave.
Yes, John.
Cows and Bulls, Poisonous Plant, or indie band? You can't have dead air here, Dave.
Why? That's a whole different show, John.
That's true.
I feel like this is a plant. Like, I feel like I've heard this.
Okay. Well,
as a thing.
It is a poisonous plant. Okay.
I feel like I learned that at summer camp.
Wild Nothing, indie band, or poisonous plant?
That's got to be an indie band.
Yep.
You don't call a plant nothing.
I mean, you could. Y Oak. So Y is W-Y-E. Y Oak. Poisonous plant or indie band?
Oh. The spelling is important here, John.
I don't think it is, but maybe. I don't know.
I'm going to say poisonous plant.
Okay, let's see. Poisonous plant. Oh, wrong. It's an indie band. Blood red shoes.
Poisonous Plant. It's too stupid.
It's an indie band.
That's an awful band name. Name your band better.
Hold on a second. Let's do this. We're gonna do this.
Oh, are we?
Well, I gotta look in here.
Bye everybody on YouTube.
No. No, that's not gonna. Here we go.
Are you gonna read me their songs?
No,
their
I'm gonna
song
play
list?
you just enough that I
This
can
is a cardinal sin of EDM right here.
cut it. All right, so we're not gonna go far enough. Pause. There you go. That's some blood red shoes.
Bye YouTube.
No. It was like 2 seconds.
Oh, they're at us. I kind of like that.
Yeah, no, that wasn't bad.
Blood red shoes.
Like the band has a decent look. So everyone remember this. Blood red shoes. Maybe they'll be on Spotify or something. Okay. Tiger's Jaw, Poisonous Plant, or indie band.
That's just it's got to be a Poisonous Plant because it's another stupid band name. It's
a band name. It is a band name. Now, okay. I'm going to tell you the name of this one, and I want you to tell me if you know what it's a play on. Okay, anyways, so this is the Dandy Warhols. So Poisonous Plant or indie band. The Dandy Warhols.
It has to be a band.
Okay, so you're saying indie band. It is. So, do you know what that's a play on?
Andy Warhol?
Do you know who Andy Warhol was? I think he's dead. I assume he is.
No, John, I just know the name.
Okay, he was a painter who would do those like and funny enough, the picture here is like the Campbell soup cans and stuff like that. And I think that's what he's known the most for.
Yes, I do.
But...
Okay,
ready?
I went to art school. I've seen these things.
Okay, I'm sure you have. I'm sure everyone's seen an Andy Warhol before. Angels Trumpets, Poisonous Plant, or indie band?
Considering I only got half those words because John's internet is poop, I'm gonna say it's an indie band.
So an indie band called Angels Trumpets. I'm thinking it's probably a Poisonous Plant. It was a Poisonous Plant, Dave. All right.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Every other stupid band name, every other awful band name ended up being a real band. So
this thing, whether it's an indie band or a Poisonous Plant, I don't know yet. It's not a podcast called Breaking Bells. It is called Broken Bells. See what I did there? See what I did there?
Yeah. It's got to be a stupid band. It's a
yes.
Punk, it's another punk pop band.
In case you're wondering, you are 4 correct and 4 incorrect. With
okay,
I don't know how many left. Okay, Bleeding Heart, Poisonous Plant, or indie band.
I think that's a Poisonous Plant. I think I've actually heard of this.
It is. All right. Foxglove.
Why do I know so many Poisonous Plants? Why have I heard of these things?
I don't know. But Foxglove, one word. Poisonous Plant or indie band?
That's a Poisonous Plant, and I'm only saying that because you're saying it's one word.
Well, I mean, I wanted you to know I wasn't saying Foxglove, but you were right. Indie band. Thriving Ivory. This one could so go either way.
Yeah, that one could go either way. I'm going to say indie band.
Okay, indie band. That would have been my guess as well. You are correct. You're doing pretty good now.
Because you're using like a verb. It's like you're a thing plant. Like that's okay. Yeah.
Lily of the Valley.
That's a band. I actually think I've heard their music.
That is a Poisonous Plant, and I knew that. That's one I actually knew. I've heard of Lily of the Valley. Okay. Last one. Devil's Berries. Not dingleberries, but devil's berries.
It's a stupid band name.
Indie band. Oh, it's a poisonous plant. You got
Whoa.
7 out of 13. Pretty sure it's failing.
I'm pretty sure it is too. It's like a D minus.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. You haven't done bad. The last 2 quizzes, you haven't done bad. You haven't passed necessarily, but
I'm below average, Sean. That's here's the takeaway.
But what is average on this? Like, what would the average person know when it comes to these?
I mean, if we're using a standard grading scale.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's passing and not passing. But what, like, but honestly, like, what do you think people actually know?
John, were you a straight A student? I'm gonna say no.
Oh, God, no.
Don't take that the wrong way. Did you like hover on that C line like a C grade?
No. So I graduated dead center of my class. I was the absolute middleman. We had an odd number of people, so I could be that middleman. I did really well in certain classes that I cared about.
John is completely cut out.
Can you hear me, Dave?
Everybody,
I don't know what's going
I'm
on
gonna
anymore.
pause the show.
Me too. Pausing the show. Not editing this, but pausing it. Whoa. Did I? Oh, God. Okay, and after that short pause, we're back. Hi, Dave.
Hi, John.
I don't know what was going on there. My internet, and I really think it's a good bit the stupid fault of the internet company. So I was looking at some stuff though, Dave. Oh,
Okay.
we're talking about my grades. So
Middle of your class.
yeah, middle of my class. If I had put forth effort, I could have been a straight A student, I'm sure. But I didn't care. I just didn't care. About 6th grade, I just stopped caring.
So this is something I've never understood. Maybe you can explain this to me. And I never felt like I tried very hard. Like I feel like school for me most of the time, everybody has their subjects to struggle, right? But like school overall was pretty easy for me, and I got A's like across the board. And so like I'm curious like where that middle ground is.
Well, see, here's the problem.
Yeah.
You actually have to do work and turn in work. And if you don't get A's. Like,
Right.
I almost failed senior English because I just didn't turn in a project on time. And my parents would have killed me because my stepbrother didn't get to walk at his graduation because he didn't have an English paper turned in. And I almost did the same thing.
Yeah, but like, so you coast on like C's and B's? Like, is that just
No,
like
it was,
whatever?
It was B's and A's.
Okay.
And depending on the class, so like history class, well, not world history. World history was a whole different ballgame, but I hated that class so much. But like U.S. history, government, economics, all my math classes, I had A's because it just...
Because it clicked.
I didn't have to try hard. That's how my mind works. Or I enjoyed it. English classes, I got low B's because I don't like English classes. And I didn't like doing the stuff, and I didn't put forth the effort at all. Like so I was sitting in class one time. So my freshman year, I did mid B in English, like for the year. But in history, I had like a 98, 99, something like that for the year because I just loved the class. So that next year, they moved me into all these super upper level classes.
Oh, we did talk about this.
Yeah. Well, come junior year, I'm in this upper level class. Maybe it was senior year. I'm in this upper level English class, and we're supposed to be writing a book report. It's due in like 3 or 4 days. I haven't read 3 pages into the book, and I'm sleeping at my desk. And that's when the teacher comes in and is like, do you want to go talk to the counselor so you can get moved to a different class? And I was like, oh, yeah. Just got up, took my stuff with me, talked to the counselor. Next day, I was in a different class, and we watched movies instead. and I was much happier. But then from there, I go into nuclear power school, which is the highest academic school training type thing in all of the military. is the thing I ended up in. So it's not that I can't, I just didn't care.
That's very interesting, John.
Yeah, and then when I went to college, which was when I was in my 30s, I did really well because
you cared.
I mean, I cared kinda. I mean, like I cared enough that I wanted to pass, but GPA didn't matter that much to me. I just I was mature enough to put forth the effort regardless.
Right. John.
Yeah, man.
John. I'm glad we did an indie band quiz.
Yeah.
I'm glad that people had to hear our horrible, horrible show.
That was amazing.
But the one thing we haven't solved and we haven't figured out, John,
Okay.
is what our new show is. And I'm waiting for you to just tell me what it is.
Well, here's the thing is I don't know. This is the problem I'm coming up with here, Dave, is like I don't think you and I should ever do a video game specific podcast. We've done it and we did it the one way that people like you and I could do and do it well and get away with. Right? But
and it was a great show.
It was.
And it is now dead and no one should ever forget about it. Although it has been shelved and forgotten.
And for other reasons, I don't think we could bring it back now. Like, I don't think I was in a situation where it was easier for me to do what I needed to do to prepare each week for that show. And I'm not quite in that same situation anymore. Right?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not at that same level I am now.
So,
plus I just want to play Animal Crossing, so I don't want to play anything else.
Exactly. Like I'm looking for games to write reviews for the Mega Dads just to be like, okay, now I have to play something different. Although I did buy 2 VR games today. And
what'd you buy? This is exciting. Iron Man VR?
No, it's not out yet. It's not out yet. I bought Arizona Sunshine, which is like a zombie shooter game. And it's actually
sounds horrifying. Okay.
I mean, it's okay. It's not that scary. Like, it's colorful enough. It's not bad. And Ryan wants to play it, but it turns out there's a lot of bad language. A lot of bad language in that one. But he was watching me play a little bit. I only played a little bit, and I gotta adjust the controls because I'm using this aim controller, which it's shaped like a gun. You can't see me now because we've turned off my video, but it's aimed like a gun. And you have where you would hold your hands on a gun, like if you had a gun that required 2 hands to hold, where your thumbs are, you have the thumbsticks, and it's a full controller, right? So you can play with that, and it's really awesome. You can walk around, but there's like a few things with the controls. Like if I push both thumbsticks in a certain direction, it spins me around when I don't want to, and I keep doing it on accident, and I wanted to stop that. So little things like that I need to tweak. Yeah, but for like, it was on sale, which is why I bought it. So for $14 or something like that, I got it and the 2 extra levels of DLC.
Okay. And
I got and one that I'm having a hard time with the controls working, and it could be how much light was coming in the room or something like that. But I got the Groundhog Day, like Father Like Son or something like that, VR game that came out not that long ago. So
what's that?
Okay, have you ever watched the movie Groundhog Day?
Yes, John, there's an entire discussion available on the Forget Being Cool YouTube channel all about how much I love that movie.
Okay, so you are playing the main guy's son. You have come back to town. You and your dad don't get along, but you're back to town for them to give some statue to your dad, right? Like,
okay.
And I've only played a couple minutes, but you are going to have the same issue your dad had where the day keeps going over and over again. And so that is
weird.
Yeah. And I remember watching the thing and seeing it came out. I was actually talked to Adam Leonard a little bit about it when it was coming out. We were both like, this looks great. I don't think either one of us picked it up, but it was on sale. So I picked it up. So yeah, so there's that. But besides that,
have you played it yet?
I put a couple minutes into it. I was having some issues with the controls, which normally I don't. Like it wasn't reading the 2 controls, because it's the one where it's like the 2 controls that look like, I don't know, sex toys kind of.
With little balls on the ends.
Yeah. So I was playing with using those, and one of them wasn't picking up well, and I was getting kind of frustrated, so I set it aside, and then I came down to record with you. But I will keep you up to date on that one. But anyway, the point of all this is like, there's only one way that you and I could do a video game podcast, and that's the one we did, and it was an amazing idea. And I don't care. I mean, no one's ever said anything bad to my face about it, but I don't care what anyone says. It was an amazing idea.
This is the time, everybody. Throw down your shelled and forgotten hate. It's time. John and I can take it. I want to hear it. I want to hear how bad that show was.
But see, that's
Tell
the
us
thing.
how to be better.
I will never believe anyone who says it's bad, because I know that show was a great idea. It had a great intro. It was just great. Now,
Yes.
there is not another way that you and I would be able to properly do another video game show. I do not think we should ever try. Right?
No.
Like,
Agreed.
you and I can talk about video
absolutely
games,
not.
but we should never try that. So, what do we do? Right? Like, anything we do needs to be conversational. Just you and I just talking.
It needs right, but it needs to be better than what everybody else is doing. Like if we pick a subject, right, it has to be something different or better than what they're already doing.
Yeah, and see, this is where the problem comes in.
Yeah.
Right, and it's not. I don't think there's another specific topic that you and I can be like, we know that thing, and we both know it. There might be things that I know, and there might be things that you know, but they're not going to line up. So it needs to be some kind of a discussion type podcast where we're just talking and having a conversation, but it has to have some kind of guideline to it.
So here's an idea that you just spiked.
Okay, let's hear it. I'll give you a name for it too.
Okay. You just said there's not a subject matter that we both know a lot about to keep talking about. So what if we found like a list of subjects, right?
Okay.
That neither one of us knows anything about.
Okay.
We do a small amount of research, a minuscule amounts of research, right?
Okay.
And then have a discussion around that, and then just see where it goes.
Okay. Now give me an example. Give me an example. I got to hear an example.
I do not have a prepared example. Okay, we could choose the poisonous plants thing, right? Okay. So we decide we're going to discuss our fears and stuff about poisonous plants, and you and I go research and try to find like the scariest poisonous plant we can come up with, and then we start with that discussion, and we just see where it goes from there.
Okay, but here,
and then we call the show like we don't know things, or like we've never learned this, or they don't teach you this in school, or I don't know, John.
I was hoping that whatever you said would inspire me to have a very funny show name that's unusable, but nothing has struck me. So there's a couple of problems with this, though. Like,
okay,
there's only a finite number of topics we're going to be able to come up with, and like I don't know. I see the idea, I see its potential. I don't think it would pay off the way you're thinking. I think it would flop for us. I think we would flop doing that.
I mean, I think pretty much every show we've ever done has become a flop.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I would say we definitely had some shows that had some good pop to them. Some more pop, less flop, which would be the name of our next show, by the way. More pop, less flop. It's all about pop dancing compared to
more pop, less flop.
Yeah,
is the name of our new show.
Yeah, more pop, less flop, and I always got to figure out what it's about. I was thinking about popping and locking. So how to a whole podcast about how to pop and lock dance, and not fall down.
Yeah, sounds really limited. It seems like a really limited series.
It would be so dumb.
We got 3 episodes: one on popping, one on locking, and one on dropping.
And the whole thing is like it's a visual thing we're talking about that's going to be in audio only form, but very well edited. Audio only. But very well edited.
Yes.
Okay. I do like that. More pop, less flop. But what the hell would the show be about? Like, what? Could it be about pop culture? Could we do a show? But see, here's another thing, right? Like, there's
it could be John. He just say pop culture because Dave doesn't know who any of these people are, or what they're about, or why they're famous, and he can't keep track of it. And every time he even learns who somebody is and watches like all their movies, he still can't remember that person like 3 months later. Like he's completely forgotten the entire list. See, John, there is potential here.
Okay, so here's the problem with that, and I actually was thinking that as you were saying it, right? But here's the thing: is a few episodes back of this, I tried to find pop culture quizzes that I could ask you that would be things. It's like, okay, people should know this, Dave should know this, but I bet there's at least some of them he doesn't, and it will lead to humor, right? Mm-hmm. And it would, even that was too difficult. So like, where am I going to come up with these ideas? So let's say I come up with ideas. So I would not be able to tell you the idea ahead of the episode. You'd be able to walk into the episode without preparing anything. I would have to prepare like a madman. And then I would come in. So let's say I'm like, okay, I found this thing. So MacGyver, let's pretend MacGyver's the thing. I'm like, Dave's going to know nothing about MacGyver. So I do all this research. Find all this stuff. I make sure I have all these things to teach you about MacGyver, which, by the way, teaching anyone about any of these things has a very high potential of just not being funny anyway. Right? So anyway, so I step up and I'm like, Dave, tell me about MacGyver. And then you just bust out all this MacGyver knowledge because it happens to be a topic you know. And it's just like, well, there goes the episode. Right? Like, it is now ruined. Like, you see the problem?
I mean, there's lots of problems with this idea, John. It was just the idea that came to my head. Although I do like the show title, More Pop, Less Flop.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I think it definitely sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. Like, I've already got our aesthetic. I already can hear the music in my head. Like, I already know. Like, this works. This name, the title is locked in.
But Dave, besides the fact that we know that it's not going to be about video games and not going to be able to use video games as a crutch. Right?
Okay, not about video games. We know the title of the show.
Yeah, we know the title of the show. More Pop, Less Flop. It's so good. I love it. But, like, we also know that I will edit it, and we'll put time into the editing of every episode. And we also know that there's potential, depending on the flow of the show, it could have music behind it the entire time.
Uh-huh.
But we don't know what the show is. Like, what are we talking about? So, like, now we need to do some research on what things could be poppy or floppy. But you don't want the floppy version. You want the poppy version.
All right. We also know. Here's the other thing we know. We open every episode with an '80s commercial for like an '80s toy,
or just some old commercial that I pick and don't tell you about.
Well, right. But so here's how the show starts. We talk about whether that was a pop or a flop, John.
Okay, so is this going to be a review show, like reviewing of terrible things, like the Wish app, like the Wish app product reviews? More pop, less flop.
It could be a review show, but it's almost still in yours and my style, where it's mostly banter back and forth.
Okay, so next question.
There's always a review for an 80s product that we either have played with or we don't. But that's not the point. We just discuss whether we think it's good or not, whether it was a pop, meaning a good thing, or a flop.
Okay, so here's my question.
Okay.
Do we find two of these, one each, not tell the other person, we open the show with one commercial, talk about it however we want to, and then halfway through it, the other person plays their commercial, right? Which would be would be you sending me both of them. Like, I'd have to know what they are so I could play.
Yeah, but I
I
can send you a link and you just don't like click on it. You just
play.
Yeah.
So okay, now here's what we need to do, Dave. We need to test this one out. We have to do a 1 episode test of it on
this
this
is our
show.
Friday show, so we should do this Monday.
So Monday,
we're gonna do an
Lord
episode.
help us.
We're gonna do an episode of More Pop, Less Flop.
And I think, Dave, I honestly think, you and I have discussed coming up with random shows, because that's what you and I do, and trying them out and whatever else. And I think this is the medium right here, that once we have an idea of this is a possibility, we can pick one show that week coming up and do a demo of it, and people can respond, hopefully, and be like, oh, guys, this was not a winner. Or, oh, guys, I like this one. But
All right, so I have till Monday to prepare this, John. It's time for us to wrap this up then, because I've got work to do.
because you have work
Because
to
I'm
do.
putting we're putting full production value into this. This is going to be a full episode.
Okay.
As of more pop, less drop. Now, hold on. Important thing that we have to decide before like we move forward with this. Is it more pop like Dave Moore, or is it more pop like the word more?
Okay, well, here's the problem. If you could find some way to put both our names in it, then I would say make it more. But it can't just have one of our names in it, because then it becomes weird.
Right. Agreed. John, this has been Forget Being Cool. We'll see you on Monday for more pop, less flop. Okay? That's it. That's the whole show. Of course, you can follow John at Johnny_Casino. You can follow me at Tell You Dave. That's available, on Twitter. You guys can follow the show at Forget Being Cool. Go to forgetbeingcool.com. And you can send us emails at forgetbeingcool@gmail.com. Bye, John.
Bye, Dave. Hold on.
Okay.
Light Right, the toy that lets you create beautiful pictures with light.
Like what? Making things with light.
Work with colorful pegs that glow with light, light bulb not included. Make people, animals, things. And with refills, Bugs Bunny or Bozo the Clown.
Like what? Making things with light.
You can make lots of pretty pictures with Light Bright from Hasbro.